I am disgusted.
We are back to continue reviewing The Magic is Back. If you haven't watched the first part, please do. It will give you a lot more context into what's happening in these next few episodes. Once again, there will be spoilers, but hopefully you guys do enjoy my reactions. So let's begin with episode 6.
How did we get ourselves into this again?
I like that the intro of this episode is somewhat in medias res, with jumping into the middle of the action in the future and then rewinding it to the past as an explanation of how they got there. In the original series, the wilderness expedition that they did was in episode 4, with listening to the voice of nature, instead of solely relying on your magical powers, which was a concept that I liked, but it's now been woven into the punishment that they received in the last episode for being caught outside of Althea. So now it sounds like a camping trip that they would have had to do anyway, and it's a shame to change that, I think. But they still mentioned the idea of a good fairy being able to last even without magic in different situations.
Farragonda is sending you on the trip. I suppose it will be extra educational without your powers.
I've been camping with my dad a zillion times on Earth.
Ew!
Now's my chance to return the favor.
Did that sound as cringe-tastic in your head as it did out loud?
Cringe-tastic, guys. Cringe-tastic. That's what a lot of this dialogue has been. Absolutely cringe-tastic.
Stella, we told you not to wear heels.
Come on, Stella. We always wear heels.
Like I would wear. Oh, those are cute.
First thing they do is feed this glut beast a full sandwich that Bloom automatically had without any wrapping or packaging, just lying around in her bag.
How could Farragonda send us to this crazy place alone?
This is very interesting. If we use my flame to draw out Bloom's flame, stealing it will be easy. I'm a fire warlock.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn minute.
Davian having a flame that the Tricks aren't even questioning or suspecting is a bit of an oversight on their behalf, let's be real. Yeah! We get a cute little camping montage, almost reminiscent of the original Season 2 episode 21.
I could use a drink.
Oh, Robin, no. Actually, the effect looks kind of cool here. This is the best that the ice effects have looked all season long.
What a geek.
Tekna, oh my god. I mean, yeah, sure.
This chocolate is giving me life.
Another one of those sentences that I don't see any of the Winx actually saying out loud.
We're just talking.
That's what I'm afraid of.
We're just your friends. We want to be with you.
That sounds nice.
This scene is really sweet. I respect that Bloom is the only one to actually approach Tekna individually, instead of pressuring her in front of the whole group, because I'm sure Bloom knows that a more personal approach to getting Tekna involved is going to be more effective with her, and clearly it is. It's a nice scene. And there are more of these to come, which I enjoy.
I've never really had friends like you before, so I wrote this song thinking about us.
I feel like I need to mention more about how I don't like Musa's hair in the reboot. The way the pigtails have been cut, and the colour that they used, both I think were big mistakes. But another mistake is the transition from her speaking voice to Elisa Rosselli's singing voice. But this is common in the show, so I'll leave it alone.
Thank you all! If your smile disappears, voice of all of us, the Winx Club.
In the magical world.
Something about these scenes feels very long. The visuals for this song in general are a bit weird.
Every step forward, every dream to chase the wind.
She don't know the words!
But speaking of the song, it's called Winx of Courage. Like the song in episode 2, it's performed by Elisa Rosselli, but not composed or written by her. And this is probably my least favourite song of the season so far. Because 1, it's a bit boring, 2, I just don't like this style, and 3, there's something about the melody and the lyrics that feels very AI generated to me. And this is the song that I am most convinced was generated artificially, just because of how it sounds. even if it's just my assumption and it's not a fact at all. And Elisa Rosselli's definitely not to blame. She wasn't involved in any of the songwriting according to the credits, but it is a shame that Winx Club's run of original songs would kind of begin to end here in the reboot if this were true.
What's going on with you two?
Tell us. Or there's a 63% chance I will write shipfic.
This is joining We Know This Isn't Easy But Hard Things Never Are in the Hall of Fame for weird reboot lines. This training hall looks like a Eurovision stage to me.
It's too weak. You're useless, just like Vexius says.
I'm kind of sad that Damien's plan fails because he just keeps getting bullied by the tricks. But they're right, he is a pretty useless character, I can't lie.
So are we, what, going home now? Don't you think you're overdoing it a little?
Again with Darcy being portrayed softer than the rest. I don't know if it's meant to be going for some kind of ditzy Darcy in the reboot, but I don't think it's working because it doesn't look intentional. Euthanasia. Brandon's face manages to change in every single shot. It's quite interesting because you can't really change a 3D model that much, but he's always animated to look different.
A sandwich?
I was just kidding.
Jeez, not another sandwich. What are we watching, guys?
It could have been much worse, if not for your actions, Bloom. Your leadership in the face of adversity.
Bloom and Ferragonda's relationship seems to be improving, which is nice.
It seems fitting to unlock your powers, effective immediately.
I think you're pretty strong. Stronger than you know.
Bring Helia back, please. Or I would much rather see Flora alone and irrelevant again, instead of with Damien, because, oh, it's so painful. Even more painful is that walk. Oh my god.
I put a whole bag of jelly beans up my...
Episode 7, guys. I am excited for this one, I can't lie.
I welcomed you when no one wanted you. I raised you as if you were my own daughters. I believed in you. I can take it all away.
And
You know that, right?
That is a threat. That is a crazy threat. Take what away? We never find out, but interesting that the tricks are the way they are today, partially because of Griffin. Good to know.
You're also going to have your magic sealed away.
I think this is really fair, and I'm glad to see it happen, that the tricks are getting punished as well. Griffin's soft spot for them has definitely played in their favor.
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant!
Jump scare, oh my god. Elf fans can rejoice now, Palladium's back, in his season 2 design, interestingly, which I think makes sense. In the TV movies they had it this way, and it's a more iconic look for him.
Everyone is getting super hyped for your concert.
Your world musical debut!
Teasing Musa's concert before it happens in the next episode I do really like, so that the different events don't feel as episodic.
And dancing.
This dancing animation is very, very entertaining for the wrong reasons, but why does it sound like there are cameras flashing without any flashes being visible on the screen? Aisha mentions that being born in a royal family meant that she had to be seen a certain way, which opposes her passion for hip-hop dancing, and she urges the Winx to not mention anything about the dancing to them, which we will see Bloom break soon enough. Not her fault though, you'll see.
Damien?
Someone help!
I'm on my way. Is everything okay?
Nowhere to run, Bloom. I can bring forth the darkness from within someone's heart.
Oh my god! What is that?
Welcome Dark Bloom. I think it's a bit too early in the season if I were to be honest. Clearly inspired by the original season 2 episodes 19 and then 24 to 26, but in the most stereotypical way possible. Bloom now dresses like she were any of the other witches at Althea, but I do low-key like the design, and the visual effects are getting better than they were in, let's say, episode 4. There's this weird ambient sound that plays whenever we get any scenes at the stables, and it kind of sounds like there's a really high-pitched note playing when Dark Bloom is first revealed.
She will be a powerful tool.
And I thought that choice of sound design was a bit weird.
I just hit an Ariana Grande note.
Queen Niobe looks completely desaturated compared to Aisha and her father. I don't know why they've chosen to color her like this, but something's definitely wrong here. Who is this Elite cast ripoff? Why does he not get given a name other than Lord Pontiff's son? What is he doing here? And why is Aisha giving him the time of day? No, Aisha, no. Aisha deserves so much better than this. What are these moves? And to be fair, Aisha's moves were also quite questionable. Maybe... No, I can't convince myself, guys. What is this? I was also told that allegedly the storyboard has a different design for this guy. I'm not going to show the image because I have no idea where it's from, but the guy in the storyboard doesn't have a slit eyebrow and his hair is completely different too. So maybe there was another guy intended to be in this scene. Could it have been Naboo? Maybe. Could have been nice, but clearly they cut him last minute. Also, the image says that they worked on the storyboards a year ago, which is a very, very short turnaround time for this series, if I do say so myself. Let's move on.
Everybody they know how much your power flows.
Oh yeah, this is where Bloom ruins Aisha's secret. Not cool. But you know, what better way to show off Dark Bloom than by doing something completely out of character?
Please, don't mention my dancing to them.
Sure, Aisha, of course.
A few minutes later.
Go back to dancing around your mommy and daddy.
No, Whizkiz, he did not deserve this either. God.
That was just rude.
This is rude.
The way Bloom is roasting feels really weird because she's just walking away saying all these mean things and it doesn't look like the animation intended for her to speak so much. She's already by the door facing the other way and she's still dissing Sky.
It's not my fault you have such bad taste in friends. Truth hurts, doesn't it? It must be so hard being your mother's perfect little boy. Later, skater.
But you know what? Dark Bloom is still kind of interesting. Definitely more interesting than normal Bloom, I'll give her that.
You three are such wannabes. It's sad.
Hey, we're on your side.
You're just as boring as everyone else. Now I'm in charge.
I appreciate that Bloom broke the connection with the Trix so soon and just went off to be her own evil self. I like it.
Farragonda will figure out what's wrong and how to help you.
You're trying to capture me.
No, that's not.
Yes, it is.
Why is this kind of funny to me? Bloom's like, I'm better than you, you can't control me. And then she shoots up into the sky, which also made me realize that the ceilings and the windows of these Althea corridors look a bit overcrowded in terms of design, just with the amount of segments and panels that are involved. Oh, here we go, Dark Bloom transformation. Come on. Where do I begin? I can't lie, guys, I actually like it. I'm not even kidding, this isn't a bit. I think it is really cheesy. It's reminding me of all those typical fan-made, recolored sequences back in the day, such as Dark Enchantix, Dark Believix, Dark Tynix, all that kind of stuff from the golden age of Winx Tube. One of these recolors finally becoming an official transformation is crazy, but I do find it comically genius in a way. Clearly it wasn't in the budget to completely reanimate Bloom's transformation, but this wasn't the kind of facial expression change that I was expecting them to do for her transformation. Now let's go into more detail. Her eyebrows look kind of weird in some frames. The scene of her looking up at the butterflies is nice, but maybe it would have worked if they hadn't kept the butterflies in the sequence, because instead of like her normal fairy transformation where she's spewing out little sperm cells, now we've got her just leaking blood out of her arms. It's wild. Now about the song choice, they used the Step Into the Dark song again, which is basically a Trix song. It even spells out T-R-I-X at the end of the transformation.
This is it.
So I don't really like that. I also dislike the 2017 Galaxy background that she's got going on. But the idea I can get behind. To be honest, they didn't even need a transformation. I think it's just funny. Meanwhile, the Winx transform and we get this editing error where it cuts from Tekna's final pose to Musa's intro for one frame and then immediately to her hair scene. So in this scenario, I'm going to root for Dark Bloom. Out of nowhere, we get the reveal that Bloom has the dragon flame. I don't understand why they would have such a massive reveal in the state of Dark Bloom, and the Winx don't seem to realize what's actually happening in front of them. It felt like too sudden of a reveal, and nobody understood it. In fact, Dark Bloom being in the first quarter of the series also feels a bit too soon.
Sonic Blast! Ultrasound! Fire first! Sonic Shield!
Well done, Daphne, you saved Musa. My favorite lives another day. Dark Bloom's detransformation is off screen again. Great.
This sort of dark magic is beyond what young witches are capable of.
There's only one person who... No, that's impossible.
It simply cannot be. Could it be? It's very much possible, Faragonda. A new song performed by Elisa Rosselli, guys. Like a Butterfly.
No matter what, I did easy, I will fly. I'll be like a butterfly.
Now, it took me a few listens, but I do actually really like this song. I just wish the vocals had more effects added onto them in the final mix to make it a bit more magical. We get this massive sequence of Bloom slowly coming back to the light, but her detransformation is off screen again. What is going on?
Did it work? It did indeed.
Anyway, the song is good. It's quite sweet that 5 minutes ago, Bloom and Musa's first interaction was Dark Bloom about to destroy Musa, and now Musa's actually having a chat with Bloom and trying to help her with her sky problems, which is fun.
Maybe turn them into a song.
Oh, I've been thinking about this ever since I saw that guy dancing.
Yeah.
Another dance break, and Aisha's parents are still in the building, so we all know what that means. Faragonda comes in just in time to say that at Althea, we teach the girls to be free thinkers, to try new things, and I am proud of Aisha's interests in all forms of dance. And I'm making fun of how she says it, but not what she actually says, because it's a sweet moment, her giving Aisha's parents a different perspective, even though Aisha's mother does not budge.
We don't like it, but I suppose we can't stop you.
That is actually so sad. But the Winx do hug, so that's nice. The ending of this episode was my favorite so far, just because it wraps up the problem that was presented at the beginning. Nobody's getting punished again, nobody's being put down. It's also nice to see Aisha get her own episode first. Even if the way they've included her into season 1 of the Winx story isn't what us fans would have hoped for. But actually the true ending of this episode is the revelation to Faragonda that Bloom has the dragon flame. Thank you, Robin. See, why do I respect Robin as a character all of a sudden? Why am I supporting Robin? Episode 8. I think starting the episode with the ending song was kind of funny. We're now at the Musa episode, guys, which means I might be biased, but this is Reboot Musa, so I don't think I will be. Stella's giving the Winx possibly some of the worst outfits they've ever worn to any of their concerts. Meanwhile, Musa comes in worried because, word for word, she got a DM from a music agent who's coming to her concert, and if it goes well, he'll sign her as his client. Season 4 reference? I can get behind that. When Aisha's outfit transforms, the lighting on Tekna's top randomly changes. What do you guys think? Do we like these outfits? I think Bloom and Musa are fine, I just don't like the rest. So after everything that Dark Bloom said to Sky, they're no longer communicating as much as they were before, but Stella still messages him through Bloom's phone to try and lure him out again by asking if he'll help set up the stage. And it works. Tekna and Timmy fans rejoice. We get their first interaction 8 episodes in. And it's a nice one, even though Timmy's looking at his schematics mirrored. But anyway.
I'm
guessing Sky is...
He's not coming. He took Diaspro out.
So Sky's a liar. Nothing new, nothing changed. But we get another mention of a boba drink in the Winx universe, which is very interesting.
Beautiful.
Musa and Riven are very much confusing me. Why do they keep walking off in front of each other? I don't understand what they're trying to tell us. Is it just showing us how compatible they are because neither of them know how to express their feelings and they both walk out from each other to avoid doing so? I don't know, but at least Riven's character in the reboot isn't as bad as he was in the original.
If it isn't Pop's newest superstar, Musa?
Vexius enters and gets dangerously close to Musa through his disguise of Mr. Dumond. Turns out he is the music agent that contacted her, which is a shame because now we've realized that Musa's excited for nothing.
I really want to keep the focus on Musa, and I promised I'd stick by her side.
I do appreciate that Bloom wants to push the focus onto Musa more and just be there to support her when she realizes that Mr. Dumond, aka Vexius, is paying a bit more attention to her instead. Musa's backstory has been altered slightly in the sense that her main intention with becoming a famous artist is to have a hit album to be able to support her dad, instead of in the original where her priority was more to bring music back into her dad's life, who had banished the mere mention of it in their household after the passing of her mother, who was a famous singer on Melody.
Look at him being so sneaky.
Where are you going?
To find out.
That's my song.
If there's one thing Musa knows how to do right, it's spying on Riven through a window. Turns out Riven's trying to practice Musa's song, which she just heard, and the shop owner says that he's a good guitar player but very private about it. This could be a season 5 reference, and if it is, I would be very happy with that, because in that season, Riven was trying to learn the guitar properly, but he was doing it in a way that made Musa feel like he was cheating on her. So I'm glad they got rid of that aspect and instead just made it more of a secret passion of his. Maybe not so secret though, because his admirer Darcy had a picture of him playing the guitar on her wall. But let's keep going. They never talk to this Althea girl who's their classmate, even though she's in every single shot. It's quite funny. So the Tricks find Bloom and Musa alone, and Darcy uses possibly the worst cloaking spell I've ever seen from her, because Riven, and I'm sure anybody, just sees this massive cloud in the middle of Magixia, and he can just walk in.
To keep away prying eyes.
Musa having stage fright in a solo concert is very reminiscent of the original season 2 episode 15, which was her big concert moment at Red Fountain. Suddenly Riven flies in playing his guitar, which sounds completely off with the rest of the song.
So emotional.
Speaking of the song, it's called Emotional and it's also performed by Elisa Rosselli. I don't like it too much because it's a bit short. I don't think it matches the visuals. I think the song could have been more upbeat to go with the outfits and the set design, but I enjoy that Musa's singing solo on stage again. This hasn't happened in a long time. While she's singing though, we see Diaspora in the crowd next to Sky and she pulls out this nasty little ring, which of course Bloom spots, and she reminds herself that she's got no chance with him. Thank goodness.
I don't care about Musa.
Oh, okay, Vexius, damn.
I have you! There is some kind of force interfering with my magic.
Flop. What a flop. He says the same Latin incantation that the Tricks use in episode 2, which is good that they've kept that consistent, but he still flops.
Let's get him. Magic Wings!
That transition between the episode and the Forever Winx song was the worst one we've had yet. That was terrible. In this episode, we begin to get these really slow-paced fight scenes where nothing feels really strong because the keyframes in the animation aren't really impactful enough. So it looks like them and their magic are just floating around. This is a cool effect for Musa's spell though. We get a demonstration of Vexius' magic, which is kind of similar to the Wizards of the Black Circle in the original Season 4 Episode 1, where the wizards used the Winx' spells against them. Then the headmistresses arrive, and Vexius disappears. Of course he does. And by the way, I keep saying Vexius, but they don't know it's Vexius yet. I thought this was another good resolution. They seem to have gotten better at finalizing the episodes, because we get Musa upset that she was used as a ploy to get to Bloom, and then Riven is the one to console her and remind her that people were genuinely supporting her in concert and that she did a good job, making Musa's performance feel worth it. What I didn't like was Bloom constantly saying, "Oh no, let's not take the attention off of Musa," and suddenly becoming one of the lead singers in the final performance. The group song is called Winx Universe, and I think it's good, but I don't see it as a Winx concert song, if that makes any sense. Diaspora is smiling in the crowd even though Bloom is on stage front and center. I thought she hated her after last episode. Anyway. In the end, Sky does approach Bloom and clarifies that he knew Bloom didn't mean anything that she said, even though, let's be real, she was probably still thinking it. But he also mentions that Diaspora buys her own jewelry and that the ring she was wearing meant nothing to him, which means Sky is back on Bloom's radar. Great.
Palladium is holding a surprise simulation room exam.
Simulation room exam? Interesting. In the original Season 1 Episode 10, the simulated test was either to revert a bad spell or to restore a ruined environment. And now in the reboot, it makes you come face to face with your worst fears, and you're intended to overcome them, which I think references both the first movie, The Secret of the Lost Kingdom, and Season 5 Episode 7. Nice. Absolutely no security in this Althea library, isn't that great?
The dragon flame can only be given to another freely. This will be easier than I thought.
Oddly enough, that does sound a bit too easy. Barbatea returns as the Althea librarian since Season 3, oh my god. Oh, never mind, that wasn't for long. I don't mind the design of the new simulator room, either way it serves the same purpose, and we're not even there for long. Tekna randomly sitting herself at the controls while Palladium's trying to explain is crazy. So more detail about the test. The test occurs over multiple sessions, with the first part being to identify the biggest fear, and the second is where they actually overcome it. And of course Bloom gets set up to go first again, although this time it's a bit more interesting than the original. Stormy basically electrocutes Bloom's finger, and her initial reaction is to raise her hand as if she were volunteering herself, which is kind of funny, I can't lie. Bloom is afraid of losing control over her magic when people she loves are in danger. Stella is afraid of her father? Hold on.
It will embolden the rulers of Lynthia and Andros to raise their prices as well.
Nice way to name drop the Winx homeworlds. King Radius looks crazy, as in the definition of crazy. Granted, this can be seen as Stella's interpretation of him and not actually him. But the fact that his own daughter sees him in this way is really upsetting, because this version of him is saying that he'd rather have a son to inherit his throne instead of Stella, just because he considers her silly and unserious.
Princess!
Oh, Daddy!
Let's hope I have a son one day to inherit my throne.
What?
And they didn't even give her appropriate clothing for this royal council, but they weren't going to take her seriously because of her personality anyway, so I guess it just adds to that. Flora's afraid of losing her connection with nature and not being able to help it. Tekna's afraid of never being able to show or feel any emotions, even though Bloom looks more emotionless than Tekna does in this scene. Musa's afraid of not finding success in her musical career because she wouldn't be able to support her dad, and we see her dad literally get evicted from his house in Melody, which felt kind of dark, but I can't take it seriously because her dad's design looks horrendous.
Musa, save me!
And these monsters are really weird as well. Also, all of the people shown in this simulation of Melody don't look like they're East Asian at all, like in the original show. And lastly, Aisha's afraid of disappointing her parents, as we've already seen in episode 7, but this time it's also accompanied by terrible animation physics. Everybody being able to watch you go through your worst nightmare in class is a little bit sick. This is where the reboot gets points because we see the tricks doing the simulator test as well. I liked this a lot. I was really curious to see what they would do. And it seems that they're each afraid that the other two will leave them behind. Icy overhears them talking about how she's the big sister, so perhaps she's more of a threat to them and she's worth getting rid of. Stormy is considered foolish for thinking that the others will share anything with her. And Darcy is literally just called the weakest link. This may have been an unintentional reference to the battle between the members of the Company of Light in the original season 3 episode 23 because of how they unknowingly faced each other. And in doing so, I think the Tricks had the most interesting simulation test out of everyone. And honestly, it was almost ruined by Darcy's little roar. I don't understand what was going on here. Raise your hand if you're upset that Damien left the room. Tekna detects that the simulation chamber was just activated, the others just brush it off assuming that Palladium's running a diagnostic, but then they remember there's supposed to be a staff meeting tonight, so they conclude that somebody else has activated the chamber, and they are correct, but unfortunately it's Damien. Damien's fear is very clearly letting down his father Vexius, and the possibility of Vexius basically destroying him, which is a bit much. The Winx leave Tekna to control the simulation chamber, so they leave her behind, no! But they go in, and in front of the Winx, Vexius reveals that he is Damien's father, but they don't know who Vexius is yet, and they haven't made the connection to the last episode.
Magic Winx!
Since Tekna's controlling the simulation chamber, she does not transform with them. I am so upset. The simulation chamber reminds us of the Winx's fears once again, and we get this interesting shot of all of the characters and their fears combined. It's set up kind of weird, but I respect what they were going for. And then we get Daphne's voice waking Bloom up and making her focus.
Bloom.
And then she helps the rest defeat their fears, and the teachers leave their meeting to witness this happen, which Palladium considers to be them passing the test. So good for them.
You'll get better at it. Show me.
Again, it's sweet that Damien's powers work when Flora makes him feel happy. It's a nice way of reintroducing that concept that they mentioned in Fate the Winx saga, where magic is linked to emotions. Clearly they're deriving stuff from Fate as well.
The truth is, you possess the dragon flame. I don't understand. How did I wind up with this dragon flame? I wonder that myself.
I think this revelation was a bit underwhelming. They kind of stuck it into the last few minutes of the episode. There's no, how did you know this, Faragonda? Why did you keep this from me, Faragonda? In the original season 1 episode 19, Bloom was literally in tears. But now we just get this. Either way, now she knows, so at least she can be a bit more cautious about her magic. But we'll see if that happens. One more episode to go. Episode 10, we get the rundown on what the dragon flame actually is, with some of them thinking it wasn't real, but didn't they already establish that it was there 16 years ago? I get that it was before most of them were born, but surely they would have heard something about it. Anyway, Stella's not paying attention because she's busy chatting with someone.
I'm also chatting with a boy. Huh?
At first, when this scene was shown in one of the mini trailers, I assumed, oh yeah, it's Stella and Brandon. It's episode 10, we haven't had any of those yet. I think it seems natural. Suddenly, they pull out this Prince Luke.
Look at his pics from all the most exclusive vacation spots in Magix.
Who the hell is Prince Luke, and why does he look like a Bratz boy? So Stella's giving up on any chance of being with Brandon because she believes that her parents would disapprove and it would cause them to argue more than they already do. So her solution is to go out with Prince Luke to please them because he's a prince. Fine, we need something for this episode, I guess. They threw the Ring of Celeria out the story, so really all that's left is her love life. So now that Vexius has realized how to get the dragon flame, he's coincidentally finally chosen to pay attention to his son Damien. He and the viewers have not been told that he's got the dragon flame, but we can strongly assume. So then at first I thought, why didn't Vexius take the dragon flame from Damien if he never really cared about Damien anyway? And I guess the only solution is that Damien's powers hadn't really manifested themselves until this point. Red Fountain is now in the middle of a desert. It makes you think about how the specialists have been attending the Winx's lessons and vice versa. How far are they actually having to travel between these locations? Saladin looks pretty accurate. Coda Torta, they've changed a bit. He looks like someone, but I can't put my finger on it. I don't know. No, I give up. But he looks like an existing character, I swear. Each of the Winx and the specialists fight in their supposed romantic pairs, except Flora is with Robin because Damien isn't a specialist and also he's chopped. So, come to think of it, Flora and Robin? Hello. Sky introduces Bloom to Saladin and states that he was one of the leaders of the Company of Light, and of course, Saladin's instinct is tingling. He senses something in Bloom, she reminds him of something. Mystery, ooh! Stella's subplot continues while referencing the original Season 1 Episode 5, where a surprise date has been planned for her somewhere in Magic's. So Prince Luke wants to meet her in person.
People can be different online than in real life.
Yeah, like sometimes they're not even people.
Is this the script AI calling out itself? Anyway, I can't remember that many moments where Brandon and Bloom ever actually interacted in the original series, so them joining forces in this episode to find out what's happening with Stella is actually a really fun plot to me.
What are you doing tonight?
I'm flattered, but...
I'm not asking you out.
Oh haha, funny.
Yes, that's it, son.
Damien, boy you better watch out.
All the best clubs are in dark, deserted alleys.
Delusion.
There's no sign. That means it's really exclusive.
Delusion.
This disguise. What? But also, to be honest, Bloom's doing a terrible job trying to sneak in.
Stella.
Ah!
Ew! Ew!
This is where a lot of the budget limitations come into play. I think this scene would have worked better in a busier club, so that Stella and Luke could hide easier, but of course it's more work to bring more characters in to fill up the venue, so whatever. But either way, this episode is also slightly referencing the original Season 2 Episode 13, which I do like as well.
The back door is really the front door, so in order to sneak in the back, you have to go in the front.
What was that dance? We need a replay.
This way he won't bother us for a bit.
And, where are the sound effects? Why did he just shoot straight up and nothing made any noise? Whatever.
A little more. Let's go.
Brandon!
At first, this scene took me by surprise. I was a bit embarrassed of what I was watching, I can't lie, but I don't care anymore. There are worse moments in the series. At least we're getting some kind of comedic moment from a specialist. Again, I like the way they've combined the plot of 2 different original episodes into one. I think it's a nice way to reference bits and pieces from the source material while introducing something new. Again, Darcy is proving herself to be the worst of the Tricks in the reboot because she's basically revealed everything the Tricks know to Stella. So, you know, they don't have the upper hand anymore. Oh well.
Your friend Bloom has the dragon flame. We want the dragon flame. This is how we'll get it.
Darcy stops Stella from moving, but suddenly she can move again when Bloom and Brandon break in, without any indication that Darcy's broken her spell or that she was distracted or anything. Okay. Alright.
Magic Winx!
They've deformed Stella's eyebrows like crazy, but points to them for finally giving us a Bloom and Stella moment. It only took them 10 episodes, but we're here. The locals on the internet were made aware of this scene on Twitter, and sadly, this may be the one and only clip that people will ever see of this reboot because the animation is terrible. There are no stakes in this battle. Bloom and Icy's spells are incredibly slow. It's a whole mess. This episode was arguably one of the better ones, until this moment where I was reminded I was watching The Magic is Back.
I know we weren't invited, but I can never resist the party.
That was a very weird line delivery from Musa, to be honest. Another nice resolution to the episode. Stella appreciates that they went to protect her, and suddenly we get a PSA from the Winx regarding online safety.
Meeting up with someone you met online alone is super dangerous. Always bring your besties. Or even better, an adult.
The inclusion of this felt very strange. It felt like I was watching an American episode of Sailor Moon in the 90s. Why was this inserted into the episode? I have no idea. But, you know, educational aspect to the episode? Okay. Stella and Brandon finally get their moment together. She pulls him aside to tell him that she genuinely likes him for who he is inside, and it seems they're gonna try to be together now, so good for them. And honestly, putting the little tiara on Brandon is funny and concludes the episode nicely. I think it was alright. Although then we get this random dance break, Aisha's unnamed interest, let's say, and Riven have the same terrible dancing animation. Couldn't have ended the episode better myself. That was episodes 6 to 10. I think this batch of episodes was better than the first 5. I found myself enjoying some of the plots a bit more because we had episodes focused on individual characters. For example, episode 6 gave us a bit of Flora, episode 7 started and ended with Aisha, episode 8 gave us a lot of Musa, episode 9 had a little bit of Tekna, and episode 10 was all about Stella. I think any episodes in these styles really work, and there are always lots of problems with the animation in this series, but the concept of the series does seem to be coming together the more episodes in we are, if that makes sense. I think the script writing and the action scenes are some of the weakest moments of these episodes. Any kind of fighting moments I wish I could skip because they're not very interesting, and it seems they know that because they don't put much effort into the effects, which mostly happen off screen, and the movements themselves are just boring. But I would find myself rewatching episode 7. I know Dark Bloom's sequence must have annoyed some people, but I don't mind it. And with that said, we've got 3 more episodes to go in the next video, so let's look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.